In this video we're going to have a look at the amp page. So to access the amp page we just press the amp button. So within the amp page this sets the overall volume and the overall shape of the sound that we want to shape. So we also have two different modes. So if we click on the amp page again, this brings us to a second page. So we have these three settings up here, but I'm just going to look at this mode for now. If we turn this right, we have the mode of ADSR, which is attack, decay, sustain, release. If we turn it to the left, it's attack, hold and decay. And the difference between these two, if we go back onto the first page, is what we have is we have an attack, the initial attack of the sound. So the attack is how long it takes to reach its maximum volume. The hold time is how long the sound holds for. And the decay is how long it takes for the sound to get back to zero. So if we have a hold time of, let's say, 20, it's a nice short hold time. And then if we shape that with the decay time, we can make that sort of sound. If we hold open the hold time, it'll hold for longer. So if I take that all the way over to hold note, what this does is as long as I'm holding this button, the note will be played. And then when I release it, that is when it goes through to the decay stage. So for example, if I hold this button down, and then I'll release it. So that is the AHD, or attack, hold and decay. If we go back onto this page and we go to ADSR, this is a different type of envelope where we can set the sustain level, the decay time, and then the attack time. So what the attack time is the attack takes it to its maximum volume, the decay then takes it to the sustain, and then the sustain takes it to the release. So if we have a sound that comes up in volume, it'll take it to its decay. If the sustain is lower than the maximum volume, then the decay will take it down to that level, and then the release will take it down to zero. So you can create some subtle but nice stuff. The other parameters on the amp page are delay, reverb, panning, and the overall volume. So I will look at the delay and reverb in another video. So to get to the delay and reverb pages, all we have to do is press the function button and then hit the filter page. The filter page is the delay and the amp page is the reverb. We know this because there's red lettering underneath each button. So if we go back to the amp page, we can then set the sends level to each reverb and delay. So that's the delay and reverb. We also have a pan, which pans the signal left or right. And then an overall volume. So we have that volume control, and we also have it on this side as well. Going over to the amp page 2, what we have on this button is the amp envelope reset. The amp envelope reset, or AENR, this resets the amp envelope behavior. So when it's on, which it is now, that's its default state, this sets or resets the envelope for each consecutive trigger. And when it's off, this doesn't reset the envelope for each consecutive trigger. So when I press the button, the amp envelope is reset. And then the Rout, so the Rout is the track routing. This sets if the track routing audio should be routed to the analog effects block or the main mix. So that gets set to this FX block, which we'll look at in another video, and with it off, it bypasses the FX block. So just to recap of the amp page, if we go over to page 1, we have the attack time, the decay time, the sustain, and then the release time. So that sets the overall level for the track. We also have a delay sends, a reverb sends, a pan, and then a volume. And then if we go over to the amplitude page 2, we have an amp envelope reset. We have a different mode, which is ADSR or AHD. And then we can route the sound to the effects block or bypass it. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the amp page, just give me a comment in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I'll see you in the next one.